Hello and welcome back to A World Without with me, Kris.
And me, Jack. This is the podcast where we get into the hypothetical and discuss what we think would happen if something from our everyday lives suddenly stopped existing tomorrow.
Yes, we do. And today we are looking at the strange and unexpected side effects of a world without pain.
So yes, of course we are talking about physical pain, not the emotional pain we all struggle with.
We all struggle with.
On a daily basis. Unfortunately, we still have to deal with that. But no, physical pain's gone at least. It seems good, right? That's a good thing. No one likes pain, do they?
Yeah, for the most part, I would say physical pain.
It's bad.
Chuck
horrible.
it away. Get rid of it.
But then you soon start to realise pain has a purpose, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it didn't just sort of happen, right?
It probably did.
Well, it probably did just happen, but as in...
there. I don't think it one day happened. I think it was probably a process.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Hey, I don't know much about biology. But
it's basically a warning system, right?
It is,
like,
yeah.
Everyone knows that. Like, you sit on something painful, you need to be warned about that.
So you get up again,
So you get up, otherwise you're just going to be sat on it for a long time, doing all kinds of damage to your rear.
it is also a big signifier of like bigger problems, isn't it? Like an infection or something.
True.
Without that, you wouldn't know you had like an infection in your ear or whatever. You'd just be like walking along, your ear would fall off. You'd be like, oh, guess I had an infection.
Whoops.
That's annoying.
Wish I'd realised that sooner.
Yeah. So I feel like in this world, you'd have to have like really regular doctor's appointments just to check you hadn't done something to
Just
yourself.
like a full body
Yeah,
checkup.
just like every month you just go and like, what's the problem this month, doc? Is like, well, you've broken 2 toes and you've been stabbed in the back. Don't know how you didn't realise
the
that
knife's
one.
still in.
Yeah, you've lost quite a lot of blood. Don't know how you're here. You do need to go to the hospital.
Wow, being a doctor would be so much easier now. People just walking around with knives stuck out of them all the time.
Yeah.
I could be a doctor.
Because I do think it's very easy to hurt yourself without noticing, right?
I have done that on occasion,
Yeah,
yes.
I wouldn't say easy actually, but I do remember one time, like I don't know, there was like a bag of glass or something. I'm thinking it back. I don't know why there was a bag of glass. I don't know. I kicked a bag and I think it had some broken glass in it, right? And it was like a couple like and maybe an hour later, and I was sitting there, and then there's like a pool of blood on the floor, and I was like, what's this about? Looked at my foot, and then it suddenly really started hurting. It shows that like pain is all just in your head.
Pain's all in the brain.
Yeah, it was kind of annoying. It made me realise that pain isn't important. Like, you were fine dealing with it on your own without...
Well, I mean, say that to whoever had to clean the carpet.
Well, yeah. But still, like, it's just, you don't need to tell me about it. Like,
Tell me about it.
Stop telling me that my foot's hurting now. It's too late.
Yeah, I have had moments before where, I don't know, I've gone and sat in the bath or something, and I've just had like a massive bruise on my leg, and it's like, what?
Where did that come from?
When did you happen? Like,
Exactly.
I need like a little like timestamp on it or something. Like, give me more information. You can't just show me a bruise and expect me to realise everything.
Because there are a lot of annoying pains, aren't there? Like, obviously, we talked about pain being like a warning system for stuff. And so there are examples when pain is useful. But there are lots which are just like, really?
Just
Do
unnecessary.
you need to tell me about that?
Yeah.
Paper cuts.
Paper cuts for one. That was on my list, yeah.
Oh, so annoying. You're like, okay, I've seen it's happened. Thank you for telling me. Now, shut up. Right?
It's the tiniest little cut in you ever, and yet it hurts more than anything.
Forever. It's just like, okay, I've seen it's happened. I'm not going to bleed out, right? We're all good. We're all good. It's going to heal in a day. We'll be over it. You can stop telling me about it. But it's still like, oh, by the way, mate, remember yesterday you did that kind of little cut on your finger? Yep, just wanted to remind you about that again.
You'd forgotten, I thought, so I just thought I'd, scream at your face about it again of how much it hurt.
Just no. There's no need for it.
I guess it's also really annoying when those kind of pains often they end up hurting more after the fact. Like, so you do it and you're like, oh, that hurt,
like,
and then a bit later, oh, that really hurts, and then it hurts more and more and more, and then eventually you forget about it.
But then why?
It's okay.
I just don't, like, pain has no logic to it. Like, why is it hurting more now?
Yeah, well,
just stop it.
I think pain is incredibly relative, right? Like, you get a paper cut and you think it's like, oh, that's it, I'm dead, ow. But then you break a bone and then you're kind of like, all right, that hurts quite a bit.
Well, weird. Have you ever broken a bone?
I have never broken a bone.
Well, this is interesting because I have quite badly. I snapped my humerus in half. No, it was not humerus.
You saw
Kris.
me moving towards the
I saw you
mic.
going to do the joke. No, it was not humerus, Kris.
Right.
So the top bone in your arm, I snapped that completely in half. Didn't hurt at all because I was like in shock. I think.
Well,
and I was just looking
yeah.
at my arm in 2 pieces, like that's not right.
It's all adrenaline and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, why do we not get adrenaline when we get a paper cut or we stub our toe?
Oh, stubbing your toe. So I'm glad that's gone.
Yeah, that's a real
Like
pain.
headaches
Pain.
as
I was
well.
going to say pain in the butt, but it's not. Pain in the foot. You'd be more sort of comfortable, more generally.
Yeah. Although, that is a point, right? Is discomfort a type of pain?
I'm going to say no.
You don't think discomfort's a type of
I
pain?
think they're separate, but they go hand in hand often. Because
is discomfort not just a
low-level pain.
really sort of low-level
I
pain?
mean, maybe.
Because if it is, if we don't have discomfort, surely we can never have comfort.
Because everything's... Wait, what?
Or like, it needs to be relative.
Well,
you can't have comfort if you can't ever have
I
discomfort.
wouldn't say I'm particularly comfortable right now, but I'm not discomfortable.
Is that a word?
It should be.
For the purposes of this discussion, it is. Like an itch. Is that a pain? You got an itch, you're like,
Yeah, it can be really like painful sometimes. Even things like, for me, trying to thread a needle is painful. And I'm not like pricking myself with the needle. Don't get me wrong here.
I think that's more of like an emotional pain.
Wow, I can feel it. That's for sure.
What do you mean? When you're threading a needle, you feel physical pain?
Yeah, if I can't thread a needle. Obviously, if I thread a needle straight away, I'm not just like,
ow!
But if I can't thread a needle, I get this thing building up inside of me that's just like...
I think that's called anger, Chris. I think that's called impatience.
Is that what it is? Oh, right, okay.
I don't think that's pain. You're getting confused with your emotions here.
Well, someone's going to feel some pain if I can't thread this stupid needle.
Yeah, with the needle. You're just going to start stabbing people with it.
So weirdly, you've already mentioned it. Ear infections, that is my all-time most painful experience I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, I was in Turkey and I was doing some acrobatics a lot, doing handstands in the pool and things like that, not on a professional level.
Right, I was like, when did you become an aqua aerobics dude that I never knew about?
Hey, in Turkey, I'm all the rage. So yeah, doing a lot of aqua aerobics, and I got an ear infection, and that night was the most painful night I've ever had to endure. It was horrible.
I was also trying to think of my most painful moment. I couldn't think of one.
Really?
I literally couldn't think of a time I've been like in really, loads of pain.
Not even one in your sort of top 5 or anything?
Well, like, in my head was like breaking my arm, but as I just mentioned, didn't hurt. I was just looking at it like, oh dear.
Whoops.
That was literally whoops was the only thing. I was like, oh dear, that's a bad thing to do. But like, it didn't hurt. Like, it kind of hurt after the fact. I wouldn't say it's the most pain I've ever been in, but maybe it is.
You'd think that the most painful experience you've ever had would be quite memorable.
You would, wouldn't you?
You'd think.
But I got nothing.
Clearly not.
I literally got nothing.
Lucky you.
Like, I crashed a motorbike. That hurt quite a bit.
Oh, I remember seeing the aftermath
that was bad.
of that.
But I don't know. I wouldn't say... It was more just, like, inconvenient. I have had food poisoning really badly, but I wouldn't even call that pain. It was just horrible.
Yeah, I mean, like, throwing up isn't painful particularly. It can be if you're out of throw up.
Well, this is a point I was thinking about. Obviously, we talked about pain being a signifier of bigger problems. When you need to throw up, or if you have diarrhea, the way you normally know about it is you get a pain in your stomach.
True.
Without that there, how are you going to know, right?
Well,
so
yeah.
I'm not saying everyone's going to be pooing themselves, but I think everyone might be pooing themselves. You'd just be walking along, you'd be like, oh no,
clearly I was ill.
I had no idea that was going to happen. Or same as throwing up, you're just walking along, I had no idea I was even ill. See? So that's a problem.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, the street cleaners and clothing washing companies. Why can't I...
Laundrettes?
Laundrettes, that's it,
Also, who uses a laundrette anymore?
Everyone, if we're pooing ourselves every 5 minutes.
You don't want to deal with it then,
you can't deal with all that poo. That should be the name of the laundrette. You can't deal with all that poo, so step inside. So it's sounding to me quite a lot that your pain threshold is relatively high.
I wouldn't have thought it was, but seeing as I've never had a really painful... Maybe it is.
Maybe you've got quite a high pain threshold. Yeah, because mine, with like bigger things, I've got quite a big pain threshold. But again, like with the little things, I'm just a big baby.
Well, I'm quite bad with the little things. Like, I never really get headaches. So when I do, it's like, oh, this is the worst thing ever.
You just whine about it all the time.
I can't deal with it. I have no tolerance for that. But I guess like bigger pains, I don't know. Maybe I've just been lucky and never hurt myself really badly.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe you've actually got a secret power that you didn't know about.
Maybe. This is how I find out.
This is how you find out.
This is my origin story.
The world around you is having diarrhea everywhere, and you're just like, I've not pooed myself once.
What a day. So I was thinking about whether people would get drunk a lot more, right? If you didn't have hangovers anymore, I know I would get way more drunk.
Right.
Like that's a lot of the reason. Like you decide not to drink. You're like, oh, I've got work tomorrow. Don't want to be hungover, or you just generally can't be bothered with it. Without hangovers.
Well, true. I mean, I guess you're touching actually on a slightly bigger point of just people would be more reckless, I think.
Yeah.
Just sort of like, meh, whatever. I need to get to the bottom of this cliff.
Yeah, but you can still break your legs.
I won't take the stairs.
I won't hurt, but I won't be able to walk. Like,
true, yeah.
Because I do think there is a point about that, though. Like, would there be more daredevils and more like extreme sports without that fear of pain?
It wouldn't be as kind of exciting to watch, that's for sure.
Would it not?
Probably not.
Because it's the reason you like watching snowboard. You're like, oh, hurt yourself. Come on, really hurt yourself. Oh, break your legs. Go on.
I guess it's more impressive that because of the fact that they could really hurt themselves and they're not, it's
but they could
more
still
impressive.
Damage themselves. It's just they don't hurt themselves. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't consider myself a daredevil as such, but like I'm definitely like, drawn towards those kind of things. Like I've been skydiving, I've done a bungee jump, like I've dabbled with like skateboarding or whatever.
I'll stick with my aqua aerobics, thank you very much.
Yeah. But I think definitely a thing that stops me from doing more of that is the fear of pain. Right, for example, when I did my skydive, didn't scare me at all. Like, didn't bother me. But if you asked me to jump off the top diving board of a swimming pool, terrified. Because I could die when doing the skydiving, sure.
But it probably wouldn't hurt.
It wouldn't hurt.
For long.
Dead, you know? And the chance of me hurting myself is very low because I either land or I don't. I always land. But it's just the speed at which I land.
Hold on a minute, I'm floating.
I'm going up.
This is just one more superpower to add to my abilities.
But yeah, like there's no real chance I'm going to hurt myself. Whereas you asked me to dive off a top diving board, chance of me dying are pretty low unless I can't swim.
Can you swim?
I can swim. The chances of me hurting myself are way higher. Like I'm going to mess that dive up and like slam straight into the water. That's really going to hurt. So that scares me way more. So like the fear of
fear of hurting yourself. Yeah, the fear of pain.
What puts me off doing a lot of those things. So without that, I feel like there would be people like me out there that would do way more stupid things and do an extreme sport because they don't really mind.
Yeah, no,
so
you're probably right there.
I can't really work out whether more people die as a result, because obviously the more people doing reckless things, the more people there are going to be.
The numbers are just going to increase.
Go up.
That's how it works.
Because there's an interesting thing I was reading about how they invented boxing gloves to make boxing safer, but it actually makes it way more dangerous.
Was it called boxing before all that, or was it just called fighting?
Yeah, I think it's bare knuckle boxing.
But it wasn't. Was it called bare knuckle? Or was it just boxing, and then they had to change it to bare knuckle boxing?
Honestly,
when
I
the
don't know my
gloves
history
came
about
out?
boxing enough. But I think boxing existed beforehand, and then they introduced gloves to make it safer, so people didn't like break their face and stuff. But now there's boxing gloves. People punch way harder because it doesn't hurt their hands and do way more damage to their opponents.
Right.
Like they don't break their face or anything, but they give them like brain damage and stuff. So I think without that sort of thing of pain there, we do a lot more like damaging stuff to ourselves, like long term. Like if you repeatedly broke your leg 50 times, it wouldn't hurt, but you're probably not walking anymore, are you?
Probably not.
Because there are people out there who don't feel pain.
Really?
Yes, it's very, very rare. There's only a few hundred people worldwide that suffer from congenital insensitivity to pain, or CIP.
SIP.
Yep. So I was like thinking about this as like whether they are more likely to hurt themselves, and it turns out they are. Like people with CIP often die really young just doing stupid stuff like jumping off roofs and skateboarding or like breaking their legs repeatedly. And so by that logic, yes,
more people would.
We all die. So I would chalk that on the bad column.
Yes, that's certainly a con.
Yes.
Not a pro.
More death equals bad.
It still completely amazes me that pain obviously just being a thing that's all in the mind, really, right? It's just nerve endings sending information to your brain saying, stop everything, get
that's
out.
Exactly how it works.
That's pretty much it. If you could get a tiny little microphone, that's what you would hear. So it just is amazing to me that we're kind of not in control of it. Like, I hate that my brain can do things on its own. Like, I just want to be able to switch it off. Or like, I guess I'm happy I don't have to think about breathing.
I was going to say that.
Things like that.
I like that my body's... Like, it'd be so annoying. You have to keep going like, can you keep pumping blood, please?
Oh, I forgot to breathe for a minute there.
You wouldn't be able to get anything done. Trying to get your work done. You're just like, I'm too distracted trying to get my heart to keep pumping.
Sorry, boss, I couldn't get that done. I was busy breathing all night. I do apologise.
I think it's probably worth it to have that there.
Maybe, but in certain occasions, it would just be nice just to flick a little switch on the back of your neck.
Yeah,
and
well,
just
especially because from my very limited understanding of how pain works, I believe that we would still have the flinch response. So you say you touch a really hot pan, you like immediately pull away. Apparently, we do that before we actually register the pain.
I often equally say "ow," even if it didn't hurt either. Sometimes something
oh,
will happen. I'll be like "ow," and I'll be like, "Oh no,
didn't even hurt.
Didn't even touch me."
I just thought it was gonna. Sorry.
I was preemptively owing.
So I think that reaction would still be there, which makes me feel like pain's even more pointless. If you can already pull away from the hot pan without having to tell me it's hot, just do that.
Well, and equally, it's like, hey, there's a hot pan there. If I know I'm going to put my hand on it and I know it's hot, why does it still tell me it's hot? Let me do what I want, body. Don't be ruling my life. You're not my mum.
Do you reckon we would still feel hot and cold? Is that some kind of like sensation and pain and touch and all that? Is that?
Yeah, I guess we're just getting into the realms of touch then as well, really, aren't we? And feeling and things like that.
When does something become painful? Because there's definitely like that link between like pain and pleasure almost, isn't there? Like you think of something like you do a stretch. Really, what feels good about that is it kind of hurts. And obviously, there's definitely people who enjoy pain. Like there's definitely
people enjoy pain. I enjoy pain a little in occasions. Like I said, if I have a bruise, I sort of can't help but poke it a bit.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, oh, that hurts.
So there's definitely like a link between it, isn't there? So like, when does something stop being painful? What is the threshold? And so, without that, is touch not really just the very lowest form of pain there is?
It's just, I guess like pleasure. It's in the middle of pleasure and pain. It's the reason people probably, I don't know, but the reason they like pain is because it's a strong feeling of some sort, in the same way that most people like pleasure, because again, it's a very strong feeling. So I mean, if both of those ends were chopped off, like you're right, is touching a table, is that actually like 0.00001% hurting you?
Yeah, because if someone pushes into you, it's like, I can feel that, but they kept pushing. And they kept pushing until they're through your body. Right? Well, what point did that become painful?
You might have
probably the point they started entering through your body. But...
yeah, probably.
So, really, in a world without pain, is it really a world without touch?
Interesting. Well, I mean, if it was, then I guess they'd have to change the film The Sixth Sense.
To be the fifth sense.
Or they'd have to put like a little subtitle on it to kind of be like, previously known as The Sixth Sense until touch was removed.
On the lines of films that would be ruined, 127 hours, not much tension in that now. He doesn't feel pain. He just gets his arm strapped to the rock. He's just like, it's inconvenient, better chop my arm off. He just like, does it with a complete straight face, chopping his arm off. He's like, oh, that's annoying. Anyway, back on with my height.
He just I'm sure he would still die of blood loss, potentially.
Make one of those tourniquets and you're
fine. True, yeah, I guess. What about something like pins and needles? What would happen about that?
Yeah, because I would say straight up that can hurt.
It can really hurt, but equally it's kind of discomfort.
Yeah.
And it's kind of based on touch. It's really weird, pins and needles.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even the name is quite a strange... Because it doesn't really feel like you're getting, like, pins and needles in your...
Really lightly.
Just
really
just
lightly.
little
just
ants.
People just like... Yeah, I definitely think that would be gone, which would be good. Although, actually... Without it, have you ever tried to stand up when you got pins and needles? You just like collapse.
Yeah, you just like got a numb,
if you
like
didn't
a
have
dead
that
leg.
warning beforehand, you just get up and just fall straight over. It'd be terrible.
Oh wow, yeah, that'd be really weird.
No one's warning you that you're like, oh, because I think that's basically what it is. It's like being like, by the way, guys, your arms currently aren't working, so don't try and use them for a second.
Because your arm is offline for the next 10 minutes.
Just warning you, so don't try and use it. You will look like an idiot. But without touch, do we like just drop things? Because have you ever tried like picking something up when you got like a numb arm, like you just slept on your arm?
Well, yeah, you've got
you pick your phone up, it just like you can't do it.
Is it like called haptic feedback? You get
you don't have the feedback
back
from the thing you've got, so you don't know how hard or lightly you're gripping it, so you end up just breaking stuff or dropping stuff.
Yes,
basically.
Yeah.
So without touch, I think we'd just end up being useless.
What would we do if we couldn't? Would it feel like you're walking on the floor? Even would you just feel
like
you're floating around?
I genuinely can't imagine what it would be like to have no sense of touch. Like, I can feel that I'm sitting in this chair and that I'm wearing clothes. I can feel all of that stuff if I think about it.
I think you just feel like you're floating in a sort of empty void place. That'd be terrifying.
Imagine driving would be almost impossible. Because again, if you don't have that feedback of how much you're pressing the pedals, just like driving into everyone, like accelerating really hard.
We're basically going to turn into like jelly people.
Would we? jelly people.
Yeah, just I mean, like when you get a dead arm, your arm is
just all be
basically
that,
jelly all the
basically.
time.
We'd just be like flopping about everywhere.
We probably wouldn't make that noise,
Yeah, there'd be no reason to really, would there?
except for fun.
Yeah, true.
And then what about like touchscreen technology? Over the last 5-10 years or so, that's become the norm for
I think
phones
the
and
phones
things.
would still be able to touch.
We'd have to call it something different though.
Just prod screen.
Prod screen technology doesn't have the same ring to
It
it.
doesn't, does it? But yeah, no, because doesn't that work with like the electricity in your body or the moisture in your body or one of those two?
Moisture? I mean, potentially. I don't have a clue how it works. It's magic to me. But it kind of annoys me that robots would have a feeling that we don't have.
I don't think they have a feeling. They're not aware. They're like, oh,
Well,
thanks for touching me. But they can just acknowledge that it has been
More than
contacted
we
with.
could say, not having any
True.
touch.
Damn them robots and their touch. What about tattoos? Because, you know, tattoos kind of hurt a bit.
They do.
And so I don't know whether more people would be inclined to now have tattoos if it didn't hurt. Because, you know, there are probably people out there who would maybe get more tattoos or bigger tattoos if it didn't hurt as much.
Yeah.
And so maybe there'd be more tattoos. But equally, I feel like there are some people out there that kind of get addicted to the pain of tattoos. That's kind of a lot of what they like about it. Obviously, they like tattoos as well. They're not just doing like...
I was going to say, because surely you could just go and get prodded with some needles for a bit. You don't have to have ink attached to them.
But I definitely know people saying that like part of the addiction they have is kind of that pain or like the endurance of having to go through a tattoo is part of it.
It's the sort of the thought that I managed to conquer the pain.
Yeah.
I went through it and I came out the other side with a cool little picture of a dinosaur on my arm.
Is that what you would get?
Well, this is why I haven't got a tattoo.
Because you would just be getting loads of dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs all over the place.
Big T-Rex on your back. I can see it. I can see it. I reckon you should do it, man.
Diplodocus right on the forehead.
We're going to start a Kickstarter to get Kris a Diplodocus on his forehead. So links in the description.
I guess without pain, would we also get gain? Because they come hand in hand. Without one, you can't have the other, right?
Wow.
So what? What's going to happen?
We can't gain anything.
We can't gain anything anymore.
No pain, no gain.
Exactly.
That is the old saying. So, no?
We'd still have gain.
We'd still have gain, yeah.
Good job.
So
we
the
cleared
phrase
that up.
now becomes no pain, still gain. So no more painkillers anymore, which I actually can't work out whether that's a good thing or not. But just some statistics. National Health Service in the UK apparently spent £400 million on painkillers in 2013.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
So they got a lot of extra cash lying about now.
Yeah. But also the painkiller industry is apparently worth $300 billion worldwide.
What?
So, honestly, I'm not an economist, so I don't really know what any of that means. But there's some big numbers, aren't
There's
they?
some big numbers there, and that impresses me.
So it means something for sure.
It does. Isn't painkillers amazing? Like, how do they do it? You get a pain in your foot and you swallow a pill. How does it know to go to your foot?
I did read how they worked in preparation for this, but have since forgotten.
Yeah.
They basically block something
Right.
in your mind.
So say I've got a bad head and a bad foot, and I have a painkiller, it would fix both.
yeah, it's not like it goes to your foot and it's like, stop that, mate.
It can only do one.
You're like, when you take it, you just say to yourself, this one's for the foot, this one's for the head, and then it knows which one to go to.
Right.
No, it's just kind of a universal,
It just generally
all-around thing.
dulls the pain everywhere.
Yeah, except the emotional pain we all feel.
I guess something in the pro column coming out of No Pain, torture. Not really going to be a thing much anymore.
No, that'd be useless.
Can't threaten people with pain. So that's, a good thing. Torture's a horrible, horrible
You
thing
can
to
still
have
threaten
done.
people with death.
I mean, yeah, death's still quite a big... I wouldn't call that torture anymore. That's just threatening with murder or something.
Yeah, true.
But no, to be fair, it probably would still be a thing because they would just say, I'm going to chop one of your legs off or something. And you wouldn't go... all right, go on then. Do your worst.
Won't hurt, so do it. Don't even care.
Because then, you just got to go home without a leg.
So that's a bit annoying.
Really inconvenient.
Them damn torturers, they're so clever thinking of all their new torture plans.
Well, I'm helping them out by giving them
it.
this information. I'm so sorry.
Are you a torturer,
I'm
Kris?
actually an evil genius. They tried to have an official measurement for pain.
What was the unit?
It was DOLS, DOL. A doll of pain. It went from 0 to 10.5,
Random.
bit weird.
I like the idea that someone was like, "Oh, that's a 10, that one." They're like, "Okay, scales out of 10." Someone came in and was like, "Oh, mate, that was a 10.5. Gonna have to up the scale."
Yeah, that's probably why. One guy just came in.
Oh, that one really? That one was a bit more actually.
More than 10. More than 10.
Definitely more than 10. Not the scale up, mate. We're turning this to 11. But then did they realise everyone feels pain differently, almost impossible to quantify?
That was pretty much it. I mean, they didn't just realise that at the end of years of study or anything. They did kind of know it going in. But they were just trying to sort of average out roughly how painful things were. But yeah, again, ultimately, the whole thing pretty much failed. And they kept finding things that were beating the system. So pregnancy, a lot of people said, was more than a 10.5. So I think their scale was wrong.
Then.
But then it starts throwing everything into chaos.
Also seems pointless.
Well, I mean, a lot of measurements are probably pointless.
Well, no, I just think, like, I could say something is a 10, and you can't tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, but you could say 100 people all thought pregnancy was a $9, whatever it was, and then you'd roughly know that that's a lot more than stubbing your toe, which a lot of people say is $3. I don't know.
But, like, I can't ever feel the pain of pregnancy, so I could say something is 9, but never having felt that, I wouldn't know the comparison.
Yeah.
It doesn't... It's stupid to try.
Scientists,
you idiots!
Why did you
stop
try?
Wasting your time. Stop it.
All right, so what have we learned about what our potential future world without pain could be like?
Probably overall bad.
Overall bad.
More death. You can't tell you've been stabbed. Always pooing yourself. You know, just the bad stuff.
The really terrible.
Yeah, like obviously there's some little nuggets of goodness in there. No more paper cut pain. No more headaches. Great, love it. I can now skateboard without fear of hurting my face. But I think all in all, dying more comes out pretty bad.
We should probably just try and keep the pain thing going somehow.
We'll keep it around annoyingly.
Well done, pain. You win.
You earned your place in the world.
Well, there we go. I think that'll do us for today. We hope you enjoyed listening.
Yep, let us know your thoughts on the world without pain. Are there any extra weird side effects you can think of that we haven't spoken about? If you're listening on YouTube, you can let us know down in the comments.
And if you're listening on any of the popular podcast apps, then you can tweet us at Kris and Jack. That's Kris with a K.
But thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.